You didn't see it on the news. No headlines. But in 2022, Earth almost exploded. Gas emissions were detected. Satellites triggered. Research bases shut down. And for a few silent hours, the world teetered on the edge. But you weren't told. It was erased. Forgotten. But this wasn't a one-off. The planet is rumbling, and no one's talking about it. Supervolcanoes, sleeping giants that could end civilization in days. They're beneath us. Active, swelling, waiting. And the scariest part? There sits evidence someone might be tampering with them. What you're about to see has been buried, mocked, and denied. But what if it's all true? Imagine a volcano so powerful that when it erupts, it doesn't just wipe out cities, it wipes out entire continents. These are called supervolcanoes, and the name is no exaggeration. We're not talking about lava slowly oozing out. We're talking about explosions that change the planet's climate in seconds. Did you know the largest of them is right beneath the feet of Americans? It's Yellowstone. And according to geologists, it's overdue. If it erupts, billions of tons of ash would block the sun, kill crops, and plunge the world into a nuclear winter. And the most chilling part? This has happened before. What few people notice is that there are other supervolcanoes, quieter and far more dangerous. One in Indonesia, another deep in the sea near Japan, and they're showing signs, tremors, gas emissions, pressure shifts, but mainstream media stays silent. Why? What are they trying to hide from us? Yellowstone National Park isn't just geysers and grizzly bears. It's the lid of a pressure cooker. Beneath it lies a magma chamber the size of 4 New York cities, and it's active, breathing, swelling, waiting for the right moment to blow. Recent USGS reports show the ground in the region is rising. That's a sign of building pressure. In 2013, over 3,000 micro-earthquakes struck in just a few days. The official statement: normal activity. But what's normal when you're sitting on a supervolcano? If Yellowstone erupts, America as we know it is gone. Ash-choked cities, oxygen-deprived lungs, global food shortages, planes grounded, and worst of all, scientists admit they can predict it. It could happen at any time, and Yellowstone is just the beginning. 1,600 meters beneath the Pacific Ocean lies a sleeping colossus, Tamu Massif, the largest volcano on Earth. Yes, larger than any mountain on land, hidden beneath the waves in silence. But silence doesn't mean safety. Because it's submerged, it's nearly impossible to monitor. Recently, scientists picked up heat anomalies and seismic pulses in the region. Seems minor until you remember that Krakatoa showed the same signs before killing 36,000 people in 1883. If Tamu Massif collapses, it won't just be a geological disaster. It will be a global tsunami event. Waves 100 feet high slamming into coastal nations. Cities wiped off the map in minutes. And this isn't the only threat rising from the sea. In 1815, Mount Tambora erupted in Indonesia, killing over 70,000 people instantly. But that's not the scary part. What came next was worse. The year without a summer, snow in June, crops failed, mass starvation, all from one supervolcano. Now imagine something even more ancient and even more lethal, Mount Toba. Around 74,000 years ago, it erupted with the force of 2,800 Hiroshima bombs. The sky blackened. The sun vanished. Some scientists believe it reduced humanity to just 10,000 survivors. We almost didn't make it. And here's the kicker. Toba is still alive. Dormant, yes, but breathing. Satellites keep catching heat signals, pressure fluctuations. If these signs are real, why isn't anyone raising the alarm? Why haven't you heard of Toba or Tamu Massif in the news? Why do they only talk about Mount Etna or Vesuvius, tiny compared to these giants? The truth is disturbing. Some believe governments and elites already know the risks and choose to keep us in the dark. Leaked reports show secret evacuation plans being drafted in countries like the US and Japan, but not for everyone. For politicians, CEOs, and military leaders. Underground bunkers are being stocked, fortified, hidden beneath the earth. This isn't survival. It's selective salvation. Meanwhile, we go about our lives, sitting unknowingly atop ticking time bombs. Ignoring the signs doesn't erase them. They're still pulsing, still building. And the most terrifying theory? These volcanoes are being triggered. Few people know the name HAARP, but it's at the center of many conspiracies. Officially, it's a research facility. Unofficially, it's accused of weather control, earthquake generation, and even volcanic interference. Some researchers believe electromagnetic frequencies can influence underground pressure systems, and oddly enough, seismic activity has increased near HAARP-adjacent regions, including Yellowstone and parts of Asia. Of course, all of this is dismissed as coincidence. But what's more believable? A planet full of geological monsters we pretend don't exist, or hidden tech trying to play God. Because if someone is tampering with supervolcanoes, what happens when they lose control? Science isn't the only place to look for warnings. Ancient civilizations spoke of fire from the earth. The Hopi, the Maya, even biblical texts all reference a time when smoke would blacken the sky and cleanse the world in flame. Could they have been describing supervolcanoes? In 2018, Tibetan monks warned of the fire breath of the earth returning. That same year, thermal anomalies were detected at Campi Flegrei, a supervolcano in Italy. Coincidence? Or ancient foresight meeting modern science? What if the ancients weren't just mystical? They were survivors, witnesses to past resets. And what happens when those same signs start appearing again? In 2021, NASA and FEMA ran a simulation. What if Yellowstone erupted tomorrow? The result? Within 72 hours, 75% of the US would be buried in ash. In 2 weeks, the global temperature would drop, and in 1 month, complete collapse of the food chain. The final report called it an unprecedented planetary crisis. They floated ideas, like drilling to cool the magma, but even NASA admitted it could make things worse. So they studied it, modeled it, feared it, and then sealed the report. If it's just a remote risk, why hide the findings from the public? There are rumors of secret evacuation routes, but not for us. For the elite, billionaires, high-ranking officials, scientists, selected few, evidence suggests the expansion of underground tunnels in the US, Switzerland, and Australia, connecting to military bases not shown on public maps. These bunkers are self-sustaining, stocked, hidden, protected. The rest of us, left behind. Why keep us uninformed? Why leave billions unprepared? Or maybe that sips the plan. Some believe supervolcanoes aren't random at all. They're planetary reset buttons, natural triggers that wipe the slate clean. Start over, a cycle of destruction and rebirth written in the Earth's core. Mass extinction events often line up with supervolcanic eruptions. The Permian extinction, the worst in Earth's history, followed a volcanic event in Siberia. Coincidence or part of something bigger? If this is a pattern, who set it in motion? Nature or something else? And if the reset is coming, are we at the end of the old world or the start of the next? Have you noticed the uptick in tremors? Birds migrating out of season? Fish beaching themselves? These aren't just random events, they're warnings. The Earth is shifting, and it's speaking louder each day. In 2023, scientists in New Zealand confirmed Taupo, a massive supervolcano, had reawakened slightly. The last time it blew, it reshaped the southern hemisphere. That's not science fiction, that's history. But while the planet screams, the media stays silent. Maybe because the truth is scarier than the eruption itself. In 2014, Iceland's Katla volcano showed massive spikes in gas emissions and heat. For days, scientists thought it would blow. Then, it didn't. The system went quiet. No explanation, just silence. Some whisper that a new form of geocontainment was tested, that maybe someone intervened. If that's true, it's no longer about if it erupts, but who decides whether it does. And if someone has that power, what else are they controlling? Could ancient structures be survival manuals carved in stone? Sites like Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, and the Nazca Lines contain strange symbols linked to celestial and geological cycles, some even pointing to past eruptions. After a suspected supervolcanic event 11,000 years ago, Göbekli Tepe was suddenly buried. Why? Was it to hide something or protect something? And now, similar symbols are reappearing, Maybe the ancients weren't trying to be worshipped. They were trying to warn us. While we're distracted, the wealthy are moving. Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, buying bunkers, land in New Zealand, launching escape plans to Mars. They're not paranoid, they're informed. Bill Gates invested in solar blocking tech. Why? Could it be to counter a volcanic winter? They know something sub's coming, and their silence might cost us everything. In 2022, a European satellite detected a massive burst of sulfur dioxide from South America, a telltale sign of underground pressure, possibly from a supervolcano. Scientists braced, then the signal vanished. No media coverage, no public alert. But behind the scenes, bases closed, data wiped, military aircraft scrambled. Something happened. Maybe Earth did try to explode that day. Maybe someone stopped it. Or maybe it's just been delayed. Maybe the real question isn't if a supervolcano will erupt, but when. Maybe we're already living in the pause between civilizations, a breath before the fire. And in that pause, some prepare, while others pretend it's not real. Now that you know, what will you do with it? Will you keep living like nothing's coming? Or will you start paying attention to the signals, the ones buried in silence? Because if this is a cycle, the next chapter might begin with fire, ash, and silence. If this content made sense to you, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and share this with someone who deserves to know the truth.